What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm also going to break down some very important levels to watch for as we're holding support so far. And I'm going to be talking about a potential trend shift that could be coming to the markets. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends very soon in just 3 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So I just want to mention that with the way the market's moving, it's very important for us to be open-minded for a lot of the shifts that we're seeing so far. So I just wanted to say that SPY has been dipping a bit amidst the news that came out in the morning, and we're barely holding support so far. So I'll be watching this very carefully for today and also going into next week, how well we hold these supports. I'll talk about them in just a minute. Just know that for today, the PCE data caused the market to pump. We even pumped even more with the Michigan consumer sentiment numbers, as consumer sentiment was decent, but then the market ended up dumping after that for a nice pop and drop. I warned everyone that we have tough resistance at 573 to 575 on SPY. And it's been very tough for us to really break through because when you look at the chart, we had 573 we rejected, we had 575 rejected, 574 rejected. So it's a very, very tough range so far. So what do I see for SPY from this point on? The answer is it depends on if we could hold our 20 EMA. The 4-hour 20 EMA is at this 570.7 area. If we lose that support at 570, there's a risk of this dipping all the way down to 568 all over again and start actually reversing for a little bit of a pullback. If we do the opposite and we hold this support, we could continue to shuffle between 571-ish to about 574, just continue to go back and forth for some time. So we're going to be watching to see if this ends up breaking. I am seeing some weakness building in momentum, but there's no sign of us truly losing support yet. There is a possibility of that happening, but not yet. So we just have to wait and see. I just want to make it very clear that there is a good chance SPY might lose support because we've been testing support for quite some time, and also because of the fact that seasonality may kick in soon as we get closer to October, and because of the fact that we hit some tough resistance. So we'll see how it does. It's still holding up. It is a Friday, so Fridays are usually full of manipulation. But like I said before, there is a risk of some downside if we lose that key support, and we're just barely holding it right now. For ES, we have support currently at 57.94. If we hold this, we could attempt to rebound back up to 5800, but there might be a lot of consolidation below 5800s to about 57.94. If we lose this, we'll be dipping all the way down to 57.80 and then all the way down to 57.60, which is where our 50 EMA happens to be. And then we have this resistance at 5800, not to mention 58.25. So we're still in this range so far, but there's a risk of us dipping lower on ES. So we'll see how things end up going from here. That's going to be very, very critical for the way things develop. For NVIDIA is dipping right now. We have kind of like a head and shoulders like structure. We have 121 as our resistance and 118 as our support, not to mention 116. I think there's a risk of NVIDIA dipping a little bit lower to the 118s if we don't reclaim 121 at the very least. So we'll see how well it does right over here, but make sure you watch these levels as remain supports. If we break past 121, we're looking for basically 123.5 all over again. But like I said before, there is that risk of us dipping if we don't end up reclaiming that. So be careful. We'll see if 121 gets reclaimed. Bitcoin may consolidate in this 66,000 area. We'll see if we break through that or not. If we don't, we're at risk of dipping all the way down to 65,000. For other factors out there, we also have Tesla. Tesla got some bullish news as Dan Ives has come out. He's very bullish on deliveries, and Tesla announced that they're going to continue the 0% interest rates on Chinese sales. So not bad whatsoever. I just want to say that that's what's helping Tesla push and outperform the market. This news came out a little bit later during the day, so it wasn't like immediate. That's why it took time for Tesla to make its move. So we're looking at 260 as resistance. We'll see if Tesla breaks through this or not. And then we have 262 above that. Our main support to watch for is at 256, followed by the low 252 area. Overall, we're holding support at the 20 EMA, and we have a nice accumulation. So this still looks bullish, and there is more upside potential for the chart. So far, so good for Tesla. For NQ, we're barely at this 20 EMA. We'll have to see if we close above 20,250 on this candlestick or not. We're trying to reclaim it. We'll see if that ends up happening. If we don't and we close below this on this candlestick, we could be dipping a little bit lower, so be careful on NQ. We're looking at 20,000 as the main support and 20,250 as resistance. We may continue to shuffle in this range for some time, but we'll see if we reclaim this or not. We're just waiting to see how it does. I think it's trying to get bought back up right now, but it still hasn't reclaimed resistance, so give it some time. The QQQ managed to hold support at the 20 EMA. This is a good sign. If we do hold this, we could attempt to rebound to closer to 490 next week. If we end up losing 486 going into next week as well, we could be dipping lower all the way down towards 484 or below. So I'll be watching this very carefully on the 20 EMA. So be very patient nonetheless. For Amazon, we're holding this support not Amazon, sorry, Aapl. Apple's holding support very nicely. We're looking at 226.92 as support and then 225 below that. The resistance at 229. If that breaks, we're looking for 230. I think we just shuffle for the rest of the day at this 228 area. It's not really doing much. For the IWM, if we don't hold above 220, we're looking for 218 all over again. If we manage to hold above that, we could try to reclaim 222 next week. So overall, it's just kind of shuffling the 220 zone. I'm going to be very patient with this nonetheless. For Coinbase, we look more bullish. We managed to break past resistance. We could get a back test of this support at 188 before it tries to continue to bounce, but it looks bullish. If we break past 192, we're looking for 195. If we lose that support, we're looking for 188 as the next area. So far, we're doing a very, very good job. If 188 breaks, we're looking for basically 185. And if we hold above this support, we could be trying to push. So I would say that there is potential in coin to push into the mid 190s. So we'll give this the time it needs and see. We'll give this the time it needs, and see how it goes. For Amazon, we have 188 as our main support. If we hold this, we could try to rebound for 191. If we lose this, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about 185. We're just shuffling here. It looks a little bit weak here, but we're barely holding the support at the 50 EMA. So I'll give it some time to see if this rejects or not. It's still shuffling around that area. Meta dipped to about 564 only to rebound, so it's going to try to retest 570 very soon. It got a nice bounce and still outperforming many of the other tech stocks out there, so it's not doing too bad. It could be looking for a bounce. Microsoft is kind of weak. We got to try to reclaim 429. If we don't do so, we're at risk of dipping down to 425. There's a head and shoulders like structure, so this could be dipping lower to about 425. For Google, we have a bearish divergence that's forming, but we're trying to hold simultaneously above 165. If we still hold 165, we could still attempt to go higher for 167 plus or even above that. If we lose 165, we're looking for 163.8, and then we'll see if we end up breaking or not. But overall, we're doing a good job at holding up, and we'll see how well this goes. For SPY, we're barely at this 572 area. We've been shuffling between 570 and 573 for almost the entire day. So we'll see how well this does. Just know there is some weakness building looking at momentum, but we haven't lost critical support yet to turn more bearish. So we have to wait and see if this bearish momentum leads us to losing key supports, or do we just continue to shuffle? Tesla, of all things, is looking very strong with deliveries next week. So it may continue to shuffle and it may get very close to the 260 area. So far, so good from that. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll see you guys in another couple of hours for another update. Have a great day and peace out.